Whoa, look at the hair. Good morning, it's hump day. Mike. So we've been talking about little things become big things. We've been talking about incantations. So how important is priming? How much does it really matter? Well, they did a study in New York City. They took actors, and the idea was for them to do this in exactly the same way each time. So that's why they used actors. They did their best to do this in the exact same way. And the actors went up to 200 people. The first 100 people, they walked up and they had a cup of coffee and they smiled and said, "Excuse me, could you hold this for a second?" And the person would grab the cup of coffee and then they would dig in their bag and they would get something out and then they would say thank you and they would take the coffee back. The second 100 people, they did the exact same thing and handed them a cup of coffee, looked in their bag, and then took the coffee back. What was the difference? The first 100, the coffee was hot coffee. The second 100, the coffee was cold coffee. As soon as the actor would leave the person, somebody with a clipboard came up and said, I say clipboard, I'm dating myself. Somebody came up and said, "Hey, could we talk to you for just a second? We'd like you to take a survey. We'll pay you to do the survey. It'll only take a couple of minutes." So they would say yes. And all they asked is describe the person that just came up to you and handed you that coffee. And when they were asked to describe the person that handed them a warm cup of coffee, they would say things like, the person was pleasant, they were warm, they were nice, they were inviting. I held the coffee because they seemed very genuine. They seemed sincere. They seemed honest. Then they asked about the second person, and the answers were, the person seemed distant. They seemed cold. They seemed, I didn't trust them. I thought maybe they were up to something that they weren't supposed to be doing. I was nervous while they were digging in their bag. That's the difference that the warm coffee versus the cold coffee made. They've done studies where they've just shown people the Apple logo and then done a test before and after their creativity levels go up. They've done studies where they had students write down their name and instead of their name, write down the name of somebody they know that's from Asia, from China or Japan or Taiwan, and then do a math test, and they'll do better in the math test when they write down their identity as being from that area of the world where people are much better at math, which is because of a cultural reason, by the way. That's the power of priming. So that's why doing these incantations and doing these morning rituals, why it's so powerful. And it's also why that's where the Marine Corps starts. That's where they start. Stand, walk in the morning, and start doing incantations. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. Sorry I'm a little bit late. Weird calendar this morning. I got to head out of town. Going to see the Bucks versus the Lakers tonight. Go Bucks. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.